Reviving the 80s in paradise. Like-minded partygoers and fashionistas gathered at the plush Moscow club had high expectations. A DJ set by none other than former Culture Club frontman and the outrageous Karma Chameleon himself.
Some boys are just like girls. Why? Because you have to wait for them for ages. So, is it worth it? Not always, unless you're waiting for Boy George.
Boy George, of course I remember him, the flagship of alternative culture.
I fell in love with him as a singer, but he changed his style, and I'm all the way with him there.
A trademark red hat and snappy makeup, he never suited his real name George O'Dowd, so he became Boy George, and he has been DJing since he was 17.
Music has become very formulaic, you know, you've got Pop Idol, X Factor, everything is like a formula now. Everything is like, you know, you put it in a pot, you mix it, and you get the, you know, the right ingredients. So, you know, you have to look for other places to express your ideas, you know, and that comes in fashion, you know, all sorts of things.
The Do You Really Want to Hurt Me star now lives in New York and has his own fashion label called Be Rude. After several scandals involving drugs, the 47-year-old artist says there's always something to break and confront.
If you go back to the 80s when I started making music, you know, there was a sense of things changing, you know. You had a sense that things were changing, but things go backwards. You know, things go backwards all the time, you know. But if you look, for example, you know, you're not allowed to have a gay march in Moscow, right? It's not allowed. So how things change? Things haven't changed.
Author of the autobiographical musical Taboo and his book Take It Like a Man, he never hid his individuality.
I'm quite happy with who I am. You know, I love being who I am, you know. I mean, I have problems like anybody else, but I don't come from a point where I don't feel ashamed of what I am. I think when you grow up the way that I did, you know, your morality is different to everybody else's, you know. It's not that you don't have morality, but you don't see things in the same way. You don't see things in a conventional way. It's impossible for me to think like, you know, the mayor of Moscow.
Glamorous and unconventional, he's never been afraid of being outspoken.
I've had great success and I've had years of, you know, just working. You know, I mean, I don't think of myself as being like the biggest star in the world, but I work all the time. You know, I work because I love working.
There might be an oddness to everything he does, but that's originality and exactly what keeps him ahead of the times. Valeria Paikova, Russia Today, Moscow.